Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the law of attraction, manifesting success stories show comes in. If you are ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this episode. I am your host, Cassie Parks. I'm back with Jeanne Andrus, and you guys are in for a treat today. You're going to get to hear some live coaching. So Jeanne, even though I know things aren't awesome, I'm still going to ask you to tell me something awesome.
So last week was our 8th anniversary, and my dear darling husband has been totally sweet this week.
Awesome.
And I got a really cool garden cart for our anniversary. And I know that, like, it's not like jewelry or anything, but it's actually what I use is garden carts and gardening tools and topsoil.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's you.
It's me.
I love it.
So he is really good about remembering, and although he did have a problem with June 31st this year. Our anniversary is July 1st.
I was like,
last Monday, I said, happy anniversary. And he said, it's not our anniversary till tomorrow. I said, no, it's today. Today's June 31st. So I guess memory things happen to all of us.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That's funny. Awesome. Cool. All right. So how do you want to start? You want to just tell me what's going on?
So what's going on is right now I don't have a very large client base. When I try and write things, it's like pulling teeth or possibly worse, because at least they put you to sleep to do that. And I'm just not getting, I don't feel like I have the traction I had a few months ago. And I'm just feeling really discouraged about the whole thing. I'm feeling like I'm not growing towards what I want to be. And every time it's taking way more than it should to get for what I get out of it. If you know what I mean. It's not like it's taking way more than it. It's not like I'm working 80 hours a week, but it seems like I work 2 to 3 hours to get it an email, and then I give it to you and you say, you didn't get it this time. And so it's frustrating and it's hard and it's awful.
Yeah. Which is interesting because, so as I coach, I'm also going to talk to listeners because I think that's important. What's interesting for me as your coach is that just a week ago, you had this list of topics, these amazing topics you were ready to share with the world. You were going to talk about a great pitch to a news audience, or, you know, a news show to use in their stuff, really looking forward. So what do you think changed in the moments since then in the last week?
One thing was definitely I talked with a couple of people about working with me, and had one really specific person that I thought was a perfect fit, and I thought I could really help her. And I thought she really needed my services. And I mean, she's going through a lot with herself right now, but it's also the combination is really typical for us as women in menopause, in that she's going through grief over losing her mother, which we live in the sandwich generation, those of us who are in this menopause period. And so I thought I really had something to offer her, and I thought she really responded well. And then I get an email and it was a one-liner, no thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels like that's all I've been getting people not showing up for calls, or, the typical, I can't afford it, but also a lot of this sort of, no, this isn't for me. And so I'm just feeling like I'm not moving forward.
Because someone didn't say yes.
Yeah, probably, yes.
I mean, right? It's all of a sudden, and this is sort of typical. It's some of the way our brains work. Like, oh, I'm not moving forward because someone said no. But if someone says no to themselves right now, does that mean you haven't been moving forward?
No, that doesn't. But I think it's the way it feels.
Absolutely.
And
so it feels like that. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so I that's the way I was feeling this morning. And then we had a group call, and there was someone else who was I have. Sometimes when I come to the calls, it's really great because I feel I get pumped up by everybody else's. And sometimes when I'm not feeling so great, it's easy to get reflective about that and say, yeah, I'm not moving anywhere either.
Yeah. And so I want you to evaluate, is that true that you're not moving anywhere?
No, not really.
How come it's not true?
I actually wrote a number of emails last week, whether they're great or not. I did them.
Right.
I did a whole bunch of that list. The list is ready to go. I sent out the ad. Oh, that's another. The ad, the copy to the magazine that I wanted to send it to, and that went out, and I found out that the woman I'd been working with quit last week. So it's sort of like, oh, that's another thing that just sort of like, what does that mean? And I guess one of the things that happens, I think, maybe to me maybe not more than anybody else, but does happen to me, is that I'm always looking for signs. And sometimes that's probably not a good thing to be doing. Is it a sign that this woman quit? Is it a sign that, I got sidetracked by XYZ last week, or that I couldn't do something that I wanted to do, or that I, wrote an email and send it to you to look at, and it was really terrible, or something wasn't working on my technology. And I have a tendency, I think, to want to take things as signs, and maybe negative signs more than positive signs.
So I want to pause the signs, because the question was, is it true that you haven't been moving forward? Right. And so I want to separate those, because this is the thing our brain does. We go, oh yeah, this, but then this, but then this. So is it true? You said, I wrote a bunch of emails last week. I sent the copy to the ad. What else?
I finished that list.
Which is an assignment in the Enchanted Business Circle, right?
No, the list.
The list of topics, right? Okay. Yep.
For the news station. I did 2 or 3 of the Enchanted Circle. I know I took 2 days on one because I wanted to, but I did do my assignments for the Enchanted Circle, and I did do my assignment that I was working on for the Enchanted Business Circle. So, I mean, I did that. I did my meditations. I did do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So are you not moving forward?
No, I am.
Right.
I just think it's like you said, our brains kind of jump on one thing.
Right. It's and this is typical. It's you're moving forward, but somebody didn't want to get on the train. So then it feels like, well, I must not be moving forward. It's not true. She just said, I'm not ready to move forward yet.
Yeah.
Right. But you are still doing you, and you are still moving forward. And I get it. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a coach, especially when clients are how we make a living, if no clients are coming in, it feels like I'm doing the wrong things. And most of the time it's not that. I mean, we can look back and we can see how much you've grown. You've just in this week, you've moved forward a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's, I don't know. Are you ready to say in your brain that I am moving forward?
Say that again so I can understand what you're asking.
Are you ready? Is your brain ready to say I am moving forward instead of I'm not moving forward?
I want it to be ready.
All right, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about signs. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Let's talk about signs because it is interesting to me. So you said, I'm going to bring up this woman quit. And I'm like, oh, great. This means this is going to be even better. But I'm thinking, oh, great. Somebody quit who wasn't going to do, who might have felt like it was in alignment, but somebody new this is going to be way better. Like this is more in alignment. That person got out of the way. And your immediate thing is like, well, that means I'm doing something wrong.
Exactly. Or, or I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. So why would someone else quitting be reason for you to believe I shouldn't be doing what I was meant to do, I'm going to say?
I don't know. But that's exactly where my brain went.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's easier to look for a reason that you're not supposed to be doing it?
Sure.
Yeah, why?
Well, then if it doesn't work, I don't have to take the blame.
Yeah. You shouldn't be doing it anyway, right?
Right. I pushed. I tried to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you want to feel about being the menopause guru?
Yeah, that's been an interesting question the last couple of days. It's sort of like, what does she really do? And work I'm meant to do. And yet that's been a pretty stable part of my identity for the last, 8 years?
That you're the menopause guru?
Yeah, well, I've been the menopause guru.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on 5 years of having trademarked that identity for myself, which meant it was actually my identity for almost a year, 18 months before the trademark was officially registered. So yeah, that's been a pretty stable part of who I am. And yet I got to the point where I was questioning that this week.
What were you questioning?
Whether I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I actually was a good coach, is a good coach, am a good coach. Whether people need it. Whether I should be doing it some different way, whether I should be, I don't know. But yeah. Or whether it's really even part of who I want to be.
Is it part of who you want to be?
It has been for a very long time. So a couple of years ago, we worked, I had wanted to open a retreat center.
Mm-hmm.
And I scripted and I scripted and I scripted and I scripted. And finally, there was a day that you came on and you said, is this really who you want to be? Do you really want to run this place? Do you really want to make it happen? And it was like, it was time to let that go.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And now it's scaring me that and it's scaring me
Mm-hmm.
that this is not who I really am supposed to be.
Does it feel similar to the retreat center?
No, because there was a real relief in that.
Yeah.
And this is literally making my skin crawl right now
Mm-hmm.
to say this out loud. I think it's probably the fear that I can't make this happen.
Mm-hmm. What would it feel like if you gave it up?
Lost.
Mm-hmm.
I know you would probably say lost is not an emotion. Grief.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendous amount of grief, but also just not knowing what to do next.
Mm-hmm. Would you feel relief?
No.
Mm.
No, I think I'd feel like I'd given up too soon.
Yeah. I think that's how you know the difference between the retreat center and the menopause guru. Do you want to be her?
Yes.
How come?
Because she's sharing a gift with the world.
Mm-hmm.
I look at what I've learned and how I've learned it and what it can do for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there's just so many women who need this knowledge and this compassion for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to be her?
Yes. I do.
How does it feel to say that?
It's scary.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of fear.
Yeah. And if we look, this is, in a lot of ways for you, this is normal. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we could sort of, I think we could even plot it on a chart, both in time, but as well as you made that list and you're ready to send that list and you're getting it ready to send to a TV station, right? For a show. It's a show, and they very well could say, great, we want you to do 15 of these things, right? And that would mean you're all over the world. You're all over TV being this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in looking at the history, when you do something big, when you move forward in a big way, then fear hits.
Yeah.
Right? And so we kind of started this out as, I'm not moving forward, but I think the way that we could actually, the truth of it is when you're afraid, we know that you've moved forward.
Yeah. And I want to run back.
Right? Yeah. That's normal, right? It's this instinct to want to go back, to stay in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's easy to look for signs that this means it's not going to work, and to look to someone's not saying yes to us to mean we're not doing it right, we're not moving forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're looking for reasons to run backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you going to do instead?
I guess it means I need to double down.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So I need to finish the list. Tomorrow I need to drive the list and 3 books and an envelope and a letter down to WWL and drop it off at the front desk. It means I need to make sure that I get the posts out and that I write the posts for the next series, which should start on Saturday. And that I need to be the menopause guru every day. Maybe not weekends.
Well, weekends is the menopause guru. The menopause guru enjoys her life, right? That's the whole
absolutely
of what you teach, is to get to this place to see menopause and the menopause journey as a gift that women are given at that point in their lives to go out and live and enjoy their life. So is she the menopause guru on the weekends?
Yeah, she is.
Absolutely, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so what does it mean to be the menopause guru? What are the things that you're going to do to be her?
Well, the menopause guru is about education. And it's not just education through coaching, it's education through social media, it's education through speaking, through writing, through promoting books and other things. So the menopause guru has to be ready for Menopause Awareness Month and International Menopause Day, which is October 18th. So I need to be able to reach out to my people in the way that they want to be heard, which means I need to be able to listen to that voice.
Which voice?
Her telling me what she needs.
Is that your future client or the menopause guru?
Both, but mostly my future clients.
Yeah.
My clients they do tell me what they need to hear, sometimes in your voice.
Right? Yeah.
But also they do whisper to me when I'm doing this well.
Yeah. So you do hear them.
When I'm in that flow.
Oh, go ahead. Say what you said again. It kind of cut out.
I was going to say, when I'm in the flow of listening to them, I do hear what they have to say. And one of the great things about what I'm doing right now, I had a document that I made a mess of, but there were several posts in there that were really spot on to her. So I know I can do it. It just sometimes feels like it's taking forever to learn to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not used to taking a long time to learn to do things.
Right. Because you're super smart.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that I always know the right way to talk to people, to her, my client.
Yeah. I love that. So how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling a little better.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little better. I'm feeling a lot more optimistic. I'm feeling a lot more that, yes, this is where I want to be. I truly came into this knowing, and having just watched a call that somebody else was going through growing pains on. So it was like, yeah, you're going through growing pains again, but do you even want to grow in this direction?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about going out and getting a job? Do you think you want to think about that more?
Nah. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because lately I've also seen a number of, having been in the IT field, I've seen a lot of my old colleague type people. That means men, IT men. And it's like, I'm too old for that. I just don't need that anymore. So it really, working with the women I do work with, I do get a lot out of it. I get a tremendous amount out of their their change and their growth, and knowing that they come to this point that I came to a while back, that this really is a gift of this time of our lives. So, yeah, I guess I just have to do this.
Yeah.
Scared
And I
and
think
all.
scared and all, right? And I think it's
Yeah.
good to explore, like, okay, is this what I want to do? Go down that path. What does that look like? Is that what I want to do? No. I'm going to choose to be scared, right? I'm going to choose to do it anyway. Yeah.
I think, it's interesting too, because this is the time of the year where in years past, Jesse and I would have been going up to North Carolina, and I would have been doing a number of things scared. Kayaking down rivers and mountain biking down trails that are maybe a little too tough for me. And hopefully coming out without too many, a few bruises, but no shattered bones.
Yeah.
And so I remind myself usually at this time of the year that I am capable of doing things scared.
Mm-hmm.
And not having that this year was kind of frustrating.
Yeah. What do you think the difference is in the fear that shows up that you're experiencing right now as an entrepreneur versus that fear before you start down a mountain that might be a little out of your skill base?
I think, and it's probably not true, but the thing that comes up to when you said that is that when you're doing something that's quote skill based, like kayaking down a river or riding down a mountain bike trail, if you fail, it's your skill. And yet if you're doing something like, I've taken on an identity of a coach who works around menopause, I've taken on the identity of the menopause guru. I decided to not just coach menopause, but to be the menopause guru. And in doing that, if I fail because I am not good enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense in the explanation. And yet I go to, but doesn't it just mean skill?
That was exactly what I was like, hey, this is just skills.
Right.
And it's not that, and if I fail, if I don't do well at writing an email post, it doesn't mean anything about my ability to be the menopause guru.
Yes.
It just means that I didn't get the words for an email.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a whole different thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a whole different thing speaking to get a client in the door than it is to serve the client.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. So are you ready now to say that you're moving forward?
I'm moving forward.
Yeah. How does that feel?
That feels scary, but good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. How else would you like to be supported today?
Got some emails for you to read.
Awesome. I love it. I was going to say that's what usually happens in a coaching session. We coach for about 30 minutes and then we go do the work, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I love it. Cool. Any other thoughts or things you want to share today?
Well, this was really stepping out.
Yeah. It was huge. I do want to come back for just a second to the retreat center, just to explain to the audience a little bit. I think that's what you always thought you wanted, and you're going to tell me where I'm right and where I'm wrong, but you always thought you wanted because it felt like the people were there. Like, I think it felt like, if you build this center, everyone will be there.
If you
right?
build it, they will come.
They will come, right? You built it. And I think, now, even if you built it, you would have still had to do this same work that we're doing now to get them to come.
And I think the other piece of it was a way to be in New Hampshire.
Yes.
honestly.
Which is where your son and your grandson are, and
Yes.
your son's wife. Yeah.
Yes, my family.
Your family.
The other
Yes.
half of my family is there. The down. What do they call it? The downline.
Yeah.
In MLM.
Yes. Yes.
So my downline is there.
Yes.
And living in Louisiana makes New Hampshire's 1,800 miles away. For those of you who don't really have a vision of the scale, and it's literally a 24 to 30 hour drive from here to there, going about as fast as you can. And so it was a way to put myself in a place where I had to be there for months out of the year, and maybe a reason that I could drag my husband along up there and away from New Orleans. But I think I'm coming to realize there are other ways to do that.
Yeah.
And there are other ways to be in that situation where my life just works.
Yes. It doesn't have to be, let me build this whole center to get it to work.
No, and I can do retreats that aren't in that center too.
Yes, right? You can do retreats anywhere.
Somebody else can deal with the menu.
Yes, you can do retreats anywhere. That doesn't, because that's not your guru-ness, right? That's not your genius. You could do it, but your genius is serving your clients, and that's really what you want. And I think that's what, but I had to let you practice, and that gave you also practice having clients and serving clients. But then we have the real conversation. Is this what you want? Or do you want the clients and you want to be in New Hampshire and you want these other things that you think this is going to create, but you could actually create on a whole other way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So good. I just wanted to give a little background for those listening and going, well, why is it different? And it's different because the menopause guru and serving your clients is who you are. That was a how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a how. And it's been interesting because I've been scripting about having clients, and that was a lot of where some of this came from. It was like, am I doing another how here? Is really what I want? I do think there is a part of me that very much wants to serve individual people. So, as well as being able to go out and speak and write and transmit to a larger group at a single time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is all coming. Yeah. Cool. Any final thoughts for today?
No, but this has been interesting.
Yeah. It's been good. So thank you for letting us, all of our listeners, have an inside view on your coaching session for the day. And I will be looking for your emails to check out.
You're welcome.
And thank you all for tuning in and holding space for Jeanne, even as you're driving. And make sure to come back next time and see what's happened since. Bye.
Bye.
I love helping people manifest money, because when you're learning to use the law of attraction, money is such a great tool. It gives such instant feedback. There's so many opportunities to see how the energy is flowing through you and where you might be getting tripped up or not allowing it to come in. So if you've had trouble manifesting in the past, you might want to use money as a way to learn how to use the law of attraction. Now, I have helped thousands of people manifest millions of dollars using my system Manifest 10K. And now I would love to invite you to join me complimentary and pay based on your success. You heard me right. You can join, get access to my very successful program, the Enchanted Circle, and most of all, my coaching for when you get stuck. And then you can pay me 10% of what you manifest after you're successful. If this sounds good to you, go to payafteryoumanifest.com to apply. That's payafteryoumanifest.com.
Thank you for joining us on the Law of Attraction, Manifesting Success Stories show. To learn how to identify your current money story, go to identifyyourmoneystory.com.